الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على المبعوث رحمة للعالمين وبعد. Here is a very important hadith from the great Hassan, at least, or from the great Sahih. It is an authentic hadith from Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. It has different chains of narration. Collectively, they elevate the hadith to the status of Hassan or Sahih. Imam al-Nawawi rahimahullah, Imam Ibn Rajab rahimahullah, they stated it is from the great Hassan. My Shaykh Imam al-Albani rahimahullah said it's from the great Sahih. So it is an authentic hadith. There are some scholars who stated it is weak, but the accurate decision about this, because of the collection of chains of narrations, that it is either Hassan or Sahih. Also, the scholars stated that this hadith has so many foundations in the Quran and Sunnah that even if it wasn't a hadith, the statement is accurate. Now, here the narration I am using is found in Sahih Ibn Majah, the authentic collection of a hadith found in Sunan Ibn Majah, and the narrator is Ubadah ibn Samit radiyallahu anhu, the Prophet's companion. Also, this hadith can be found by or collected from Ubadah ibn Samit, like we said, Ibn Abbas, Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, Abu Huraira, Jabir ibn Abdullah, Aisha, Tha'lab ibn Abi Malik, Al-Quradi, Abu Lubaba. So different narrations from different Sahaba. This is an authentic hadith, bi'idhnillah, at least from the great Hassan. The hadith just has 4 words connected with the letter Waw. Very important. La darara wa la dirar. La darara, darar means harm. Wa la dirar also is connected to the meaning harm. La, no, there isn't. Darara, this is the first section of the hadith. There is no darar. Here, as the scholars mentioned, the meaning is connected to the commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there is no way they're going to contain any harm for the creation. So la darara, which is the first part of this hadith, is the meaning here, according to some scholars, that the commandments that come from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala always contain what's good and khair for us, creation, never containing harm. La darara. So there is no darar connected to the commandments of Allah. Wala dirar. Dharar is also has this basic meaning of darar, harm. La here means there shouldn't be. The first part, there isn't. This part, the second part, there shouldn't be. So must be talking about us, creation. There shouldn't be also dirar, meaning creation cannot cause harm to themselves or to others. Very important hadith. Among the harm that today is very obvious, that creation can create and transfer to other people by their actions, to spread the virus, to spread it. They're bitter, keep complaining, have to stay at home, lockdown. I'm here in my apartment giving this short lecture and reminder. I'm at my home. I'm not complaining, because this is important. Number one, 2 things. Number one, it's important for me, so that I don't go out, mix with people who have the virus, end up with the virus, transferring it to my family. This is good for me, because this is a commandment from Allah, and the commandments of Allah have la darar. They don't have any darar. This is for me. Secondly, about the meaning of darar, so that I don't spread the virus if I have it among people by mixing with them. This is why the first in this segment of ahadith lectures, short lectures, khawatir, about our situation. This is the second part. In the first part, we mentioned that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam stated that if you hear about the pandemic in an area, You're not there, don't go there. If you're there, don't leave it. Subhanallah. Sallallahu ala Muhammad. This is what people have been missing for centuries and centuries. And Muslims today, because they're fascinated with the West are saying science and stuff, they talk about quarantine. You have it in your Sunnah. Just go to the Sunnah and you'll find it there. And it's good for you. It's a commandment from Allah. If there is a pandemic, it breaks out in the area you're in it, don't leave it, because you might be carrying that disease. And if you hear about it in an area, don't go there, so that you protect yourself and others too from that disease. Subhanallah. So, لا ضرر ولا ضرار. This hadith has several meanings. Let's talk about some of them. As we mentioned, لا ضرر means there is no harm in the commandments of Allah for creations. All good for them. Everything. This is one of them during this time, this pandemic, that people are reaching for their YouTube, CNN, whatever, news about quarantine, that stuff. You have it in your Sunnah. Reach out for Bukhari and Muslim with the hadith where Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, don't go to an area where the pandemic has broke out. Don't leave an area if the pandemic breaks out while you're in it. Subhanallah. So whatever Allah legislates for His slaves is good for them. As for causing harm to others because of our action, it's very obvious. Now, we're now in the United States. 1,200,000 people have the disease, have the virus, but we don't really know how many more have it, and they don't know, because they tell you that many people are carrying the virus all over, but they're showing no symptoms. So how do you know? How do you know that the person you're gonna mix with has it? Then you take it, then you give it to somebody else. Also, if you know you have this illness, stay at home for Allah's sake. Protect other people from this illness. Protect other people from the virus, because it's very contagious. It's not like the flu, as some people have suggested. This is far more dangerous and transfers quickly, and the disease itself is harsher on the body than the flu. The flu is also dangerous. If you have the flu, for Allah's sake, stay at home too. Take medication, stay at home. Don't share what you have with others, because this is not a good thing to share. Now, many Muslims, we hear that they're very upset. Why do I have to stay at home? This and that. They're bitter. Masajid are closed. Yeah, for your good, definitely. Do you remember, like I do, that you go to the masjid one time for Jum'ah? MashaAllah, masjid is full. Inshallah, it will come back again to be full and even more. But some people, MashaAllah, they think I'm generous today. They sneeze and they share it with everybody. I've seen people who, when they sneeze, they do it to the right and left, like Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, here's some virus. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, here's some virus. Don't do that. It's not good for you. Stay at home so you don't hurt and harm other Muslims and other people. For example, children, older people, they're susceptible to this more than other people. Children now, they're talking about a side effect of the virus. They didn't think about it before. It has to do with the heart. The heart might stop working due to the virus completely. And you can check this on the favorite YouTube channel that you have, or CNN, or MSNBC, or whatever it is. You'll find that this is a story about children, that they are affected in ways we don't still know. So, لا ضرر, what Allah commands us to do, including quarantine, which Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam 15 centuries ago taught us about. This is knowledge. Taught us about, even before people knew there is a virus or something. They knew there is contagiousness. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam gave us how to behave, conduct ourselves during this time. Why don't you go back to the Sunnah? You'll find it there instead of quarantine. They're quarantining the entire country, whatever you don't. It is in your Sunnah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala legislated it because every hadith Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam stated in the religion came from Allah, a revelation. This is one of them. So la darara, there is no harm in this for me in any way or form. It's good for me, good for my health, for my family, and for other people. Wala dirar, there shouldn't be any dirar from me towards other creation. If I have the illness, I take precautions. I don't mix with people. I don't leave the town where the pandemic broke out. I stay put. I stay in my house and keep my harm away from hurting other people. If I hear about an area where the pandemic started, don't go there, even if you sympathize with them, even if your family is there. Why? Because there is no need to increase the number of people who have the virus, even by one. You can help them better, bi'idhnillah, by, for example, raising funds, sending food, whatever it is. So you can, inshallah ta'ala, help them when you're healthy, because they want you, they need you in this life until Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decides. And also, you need to look at the ahadith and at the statements of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Remember this hadith. La, it means no. La darara, there is no harm. This part, as some scholars said, is connected with the commandments of Allah. Whatever He legislates, there is no harm in it for the creation, period. It's all good for them. Wa, and la, there shouldn't be. So we must be talking about creation in this part. Dirar, no harm, meaning we are not allowed, haram for us, we can't do harm to others or to ourselves. I need to stay healthy to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This body is a gift from Allah. He made me a ruler over my body. I have to take care of it. And that when I go back to Allah, I took care of my health, of my body. And also I need to take care of my family, other Muslims and other people by not causing them harm. This is the time to think about this hadith. La darara wa la dirar. La darara wa la dirar. La darara wa la dirar. وصلى الله على محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. I hope inshallah ta'ala this short reminder will be of benefit for us so that we remember and increase in pride, in the good meaning of the word pride, in what we have, the treasures we have from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.